What is up, guys? Ivan here with getivan.com, and in this video we're going to be answering the Quora question: how much does a technical SEO audit cost? So let's take a look at some of the answers here, and then I will give you my feedback. This lady says that it will cost between 300 and 20 grand. $300 to 20 grand, depending on the size of the site. Okay. Depends on the type of audit. This guy says $100 to as high as 20 grand. He says uprank can help you, blah, 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 blah. So he's promoting. It doesn't cost anything unless you apply the changes required. Those changes and implementation control are impossible to forecast without more details. Typical SEO answer, it depends. Okay, so let's see. This guy is, man, I'm surprised he was able to get away with putting so many links in his post. Oftentimes Quora will ghost your post. Wow, this guy is a hero. Quora often will ghost posts that include tons of links like this. But you see, he put a lot of links, but okay, here's a price. Professional rates are typically 18K, but we charge a quarter of that. So that's like 2K. And I don't know who's charging 20K for SEO, technical SEO audits, but that's outrageous, to be frank. Like, recently I was looking at audit, like I was just kind of looking at what other guys charge for audits, because for on-page consultancy and things like that, I have a price here. Let's look at my website, and this is subject to change, keep in mind, but I do offer a section for audits. Let's take a look at my section here. Not to be self-promotional, but just to give you a frame of reference in terms of how I thought about it, is I charge about 125 an hour, and that's that includes just like I'm sitting on a screen recording just like this, and basically just talking about what's going on and what I recommend you do, um, and that will often include uh, some advice on keyword research. I'll throw in terms into some keyword research tools, and then send you a sheet also. So that's an on-page audit for the most part. And what they're talking about is more technical audit. So that's more along the lines of Screaming Frog. So if we were to go over, a lot of technical SEOs use this tool from Screaming Frog called the SEO Spider tool. You can go to the site and check out this video. And it's basically a nerd tool for looking at metadata and anchor text and keyword density and all this data across all these pages. And there are some people who really believe in keyword cannibalization and things like that. And so if you subscribe to those kinds of things, then and you have a really big site, then somebody can come in and use a tool like this to figure out where your pages are competing with each other. Of course, the folly of keyword cannibalization is that, the only way that you can compete with yourself is if all of your pages are weak. you know. And the ironic thing is that the people that I've heard say that, they are also the same people who don't do link building. So, if you're doing proper internal linking, then even if you have pages that are talking about similar things, like if you're sending those internal links to the power pages properly, you shouldn't have keyword cannibalization. And this kind of technical audit isn't super necessary. I'm sure there are different use cases, and certainly from an e-commerce standpoint. So it's really a very specialty field, technical SEO. And I've seen guys out there who are talking about making a lot of money doing this kind of thing and charging for this. And my problem, and it's not to say that somebody can't sit around and do a ton of work, on page work at scale, but my problem is, like, what's really the benefit? Like, for how much time and energy is spent into technical SEO, why don't you just buy some backlinks, or maybe adjust your internal linking so that you can really drive the juice into the places that you want it to go. So That's a bit of a rundown on technical SEO, and certainly have a bit of skepticism in terms of its practical ROI, but it does have its there is logical implementation to that, depending on the circumstance. And I mostly envision like an older website that maybe hasn't been built properly, or the content hasn't been distributed in the same way between writers who have access to the asset, and so it's just like all over the place. It's a messy thing. So I can see where, pardon me, maybe a cleanup could cost a lot of money. But like some of these folks are saying, if it depends. It depends on the size of the site. But I think that it should probably be essentially SEO audit prices. Like, beware of anyone saying that they're going to charge a lot more for a technical approach necessarily. You have to ask, what does that mean? What's the difference between you doing a technical audit versus just a typical on-page audit? You know what I'm saying? So I would be very critical of that, because it could be easy to fall into a price trap where somebody's trying to charge you a bunch just when they're basically going to be sitting there on Screaming Frog nerding out. You could definitely hire someone overseas for a lot cheaper to use something like Screaming Frog. But if you're going to pay somebody for their time to make a bunch of meticulous little adjustments like that, then you also just kind of need to think about, like, is this even practical? Like, what's really the problem here? Is it a keyword cannibalization issue? If that's the case, then basically just correct your internal linking, and then do some actual external link building, like, so that your pages aren't so weak, and so Google doesn't look at just like a bunch of paper pages and decide, oh, which crappy page should I rank over the other one? You know what I'm saying? So anyways, those are all my thoughts. I think that you could probably get, even overseas SEO audits, like, could be $50 or something like that. It just depends on the features included, but it should probably range between 50 to $150 per page per hour ish. That'd be my guess. And then maybe if you have a bulk of pages, depending on the complexity of the changes, like, you need to itemize all the changes. Like, if you're going to say, okay, the meta title and the meta or the H tags need to be changed, then that's a small thing. If you need to say like 10 items need to be changed, then you probably need to itemize the cost on each page if you have a large project. So that would be my approach to it. But that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching, guys. And just for the record, I do not do technical SEO audits. I do small, uh, just general on-page SEO audits in preparation for link building retainers, right? So I'll do a general site audit, right? But I'm not going to sit there and I'm not going to take orders for 50 pages, like, you know what I'm saying? So I'm definitely not trying to do that kind of thing. But anyways, thanks for watching. I'll catch you later. Bye-bye.